Hi, Sven here. Recently, I published a comprehensive comparison of the 5 most important image generators as a video. You can watch it again here. And now LumaLabs, who also make the Dream Machine F video generator, have released an image generator as well called Luma Photon. You can find it here at LumaLabs, AI Photon, and the images here are really, really good. And they even have a comparison here coincidentally with exactly the same generators that I featured in my video. And in this evaluation, they put themselves at the top overall with the highest ratings for aesthetics, prompt adherence, information, and image composition. So I'm curious to see if they can actually live up to that. However, a very, very crucial factor is the price. Luma Photon costs just 1.6 cents per image at the highest resolution, which is 1080. With Flex, which I usually use, we're somewhere around 6 cents or 4, depending. Midjourney is 5, Ideogram is 6, and then there's Stable Diffusion. There you only get lower resolutions, which are actually significantly more expensive in comparison. And that price really does make a statement. All the examples you see here are already really, really good. That's why I took a closer look at it and simply incorporated it into my scenario. But before we take a look at that, I already went over to the documentation. So docs, LumaLabs, AI, generate image. And then I find the endpoint I need here along with the corresponding parameters that I can set. What we always need as well is the API key, which I can also generate here with my account. And with this API key, I can then identify myself and use the whole thing accordingly. And yes, to try this out, I added these 2 elements to the existing scenario because Luma has a similar phenomenon as Midjourney, namely that I can't work synchronously like with these others here, but instead I have to start the generation and then receive the information via a webhook. So basically the whole thing looks like this. Here in the image prompt, I have the relevant information that I need for prompting. That means I want to generate an image. I'm using the Photon 1 model. The prompt goes in here. And as for the aspect ratio, I've set it up in the variables at the beginning so that it works for every image generator in this entire scenario. And then, and this is the special part, I have to specify a callback URL here. And this URL essentially triggers the webhook with every status change. And this webhook, which we'll take a closer look at in a moment, is the first module in this second scenario. Yes. When I then call the API generate, I have here the endpoint that I need to call with the post method. Then here authorization, and here it says bearer and then my API key, body type, raw as always. JSON, path, response, and here in the request content is the JSON document that we just looked at. And then with that call, everything is already done. That means it just gets sent off, and then this scenario is finished, and then the second scenario comes into play, which is then triggered via a webhook. And now we have the following situation. When this webhook is called, which is exactly this address here, we receive a status along with it. And this status can have different states, namely that it is either in the queue or currently being processed. And that's why this scenario can actually be called multiple times under certain circumstances. Actually, not just under certain circumstances. It is called multiple times. But I am only allowed to let the scenario proceed when the status is set to completed. Yes, and basically that's the only thing that's really still relevant here, because when I go into this get function, we can see again that this is also the generation function. And then I simply append this ID, which I receive via the webhook. So that's this long code here. Yes, and again here, the authorization. Here, we don't have any content in the request, and then we simply get the URL delivered, and then I do the same as in the other example. I add the generator name Luma Photon here and then insert the image into the document. I'm not even going to run this now because you can imagine how it works. And above all, you can see exactly how it works in the other video. Instead, I'd rather just show you the result first. That means I updated this document, added Luma Photon as the 6th generator here, and then simple almost as if I had known it in advance now, have Luma Photon always in the bottom right in this 3x2 matrix. My Darth Vader. Yes, the face here of the fisherman. The Viking. So there really are some truly beautiful results here. Oh, it seems I forgot the pizza lady. I'll have to look for her later. Here you can see the books very clearly. Yes, here too. It's almost identical to the others. It's really amazing. This one has a bit of a chubby face here, although this one does too. And the hamster still looks pretty cute somehow, even though the blood is dripping down here. Okay, so the whole thing has been expanded with Luma Photon. I think 1 or 2 new generators will be released soon, and then I'll just continue with this process. Have fun trying it out. If you have any questions, you know we're familiar with automations, and if you need support, just reach out to me. You'll find the link below in the description. Bye, and have fun.